In this session, we'll be working with the financial functions with Excel, which is the core basics for financial modeling. As we have to progress with calculating the financial statement and we have to project the financial metrics for in the financial statements, the variables that we have to project, the ratio part, the profit margin, the sales margin, and we'll be calculating the depreciation schedule and we have to calculate the debt schedule. At that time, we require some of the functions, the financial functions that we'll be using while working with the projection part. So in the financial functions, we'll be first working with the basics on the time value of money. So we already know that money has time value or time value, and calculating the value of money in the past, present or future. So we know that money increases in value over time because the interest which is earned by the money. Now we should be a little bit familiar with the variables that PV. Here these are the variables which will be working in the Excel. So PV is the present value, FE is the future value, PMT is the payment or the annuity, cash inflow or cash outflow, I is the interest rate, discount rate and required rate of return. Then N or NPER, we call it as number of periods, or we normally call it as say 5 years or 2 years or 3 years. Beginning is the beginning of the period, end is the end of the period, and type 1 for the beginning of the period. Suppose the amount will be paid at the beginning or at the beginning of the period, say at the beginning of the month. Suppose the amount has been paid, then you have to type 1 in the Excel, right? And similar way you have to type the option 0 if the amount is paid at the end of the period. Now we'll be getting into the Excel and we'll be calculating the future value first, then we'll be calculating the present value, then we'll be calculating the interest rate when putting the another variable as constant. So in this case, first we'll be calculating the future value where we have the present value, the interest and the number of years. So we'll be shuffling with the variables, keeping one variable as a constant and shuffling other variables. In a similar way, we'll be working with the finding of another variable one by one with the help of Excel. So in this case, we'll be calculating the future value of the amount which has been given over here. So here we have the present value, that is the amount that we have invested today. What will happen after 5 years if there is a rate of return of 4%, and we have calculated and we have to do it compounded annually, compounded semi-annual, compounded monthly, compounded daily. So what will be the result? A similar way for present value of today we have invested say 2 lakh rupees and the rate of return is 8%. At the end of 5 years, what will be the amount which is compounded annually, compounded semi-annual, compounded monthly and compounded daily. In similar way for the present value of 85,000. So first, before getting into financial functions, come to the tab in the above, go to formulas, then come to the financial part, click the financial part. In this case, we have to calculate the financial future value, right? FE. So we select the FE, future value. You click the future value. Here you can find the rate, the number of years. This is your annuity or the cash inflow, which is not required because we don't have any annuity over here. This is the present value, PV, and type. As I said, if I click the type over here, it will be giving you say the type is the value representing the timing of the payment. Payment at the beginning of the year, period, that is 1. If the payment is done at the beginning of the month, you can do it as put the type as 1, and payment at the end of the period, you type it as 0, but we don't require that, right? So normally we basically calculate with the following inputting the values. Now in first case, we have the 4% is the rate of return, so I directly put here the 4% the rate of return, right? So what is the number of years? We have 5 is the number of years, I put 5. So since there is no PMT over here, that is the annuity, so I put it as 0. And present value, we have to put it in negative value, right? So because we are investing today, so the cash is going out of your hand. So we are investing 10,000, so I put here minus 10,000. We'll check it how it works actually. 10,000. So you find that the result gives you 12,166.52902. This is your future value of your money. It becomes very easy when instead of putting your formulas and calculating it one by one. So Excel gives you a very wide benefit of calculating your future value or any of the variable. If there is any missing variable, you can able to calculate that. Right. Now we'll be working with the table row. This is the function argument, or we can say the dialog box of the function argument of future value. As earlier we have calculated with the help of the function argument dialog box, we can directly insert the formula over here. So I place my cursor over here in cell G8 where I need the result. So I put as equal to FV, then type the tab key, and you find it will be the argument will be asking one variable, that is what is the rate. So rate is here, I just select the rate here is 4%, then comma, and it will be asking for year, so I'll be selecting the year which is at G6, right? So it is 5 years. Then since there is no annuity over here, I put it at 0, then comma, and it will be asking for the present value. Since I have to put it in the negative value, so I put it as negative sign, and I'll be selecting the cell the G4. Then I do the close bracket, close the parenthesis, and enter. So you find that it will come, the value is 12,166, which is the future value, which is a compounded value of your 10,000, which is nothing but 12,166. In similar way, we can calculate for semi-annual, where you have to divide the interest and multiply the year, right? So by 2. So once again we get into the formula equal to FV, future value, rate here is 4%. I'll calculate. I will just select. I will just give the reference. I'm doing the relative reference over here, right? So divided by 2, since it's a semi-annual, comma. Then here the number of years 5. That is G6 into, I multiplied by 2, right, comma, 0, then same negative, because it's a present value, because we are investing money today. So I'll be selecting G4, and I close the bracket and I enter. I find that the compounded semi-annual value of 10,000 is 12,189. Then similar way we calculate for the monthly also, equal to FV, then tab key, then you have the rate. So rate, I select the rate 4%, that should be divided by 12, because it is monthly compounded, it has to be compounded monthly, so divided by 12, then comma, and the NPR is the number of years, so 5 into 12, comma, the present value that you have to calculate minus 10,000. So I'll put it as I will select the G4 variable, then I close the bracket, then press enter. It gives you 6,62,989. Since it is monthly compounded, it gives you very high value of the 10,000. Suppose what is the part of daily? So in this case we can calculate for 365 days, right? So daily, so equal to FV, rate is 4%, divided by 365, comma, then year 5 into 365, comma, there is no annuity over here, I put it as 0, comma, and the negative present value, since we are investing the amount, so I'll be referring the same value over here, and I'll just close the parenthesis, give enter. So you find that it gives you the daily compounded value. So this is the basic calculation of your future value that you can able to determine. The similar way for this values, what you have to do is that you can able to drag here, you automatically get the results over here. Similar way, you drag this one, you'll get the results for the 2,85,000. Similar way, you drag it from left to right, you'll get the value, right? So I'll just put here. Similar way, I will just drag this one from left to right, and you'll be getting the value. So this is the calculation of future value with the help of the financial function.